Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, wondering where your life would be today if only you weren't afraid to fail? If that question hits a part of your heart, then stay with me. This message is for you. There comes a point in every adult's life when the world feels louder than our own dreams. A mistake from years ago, a business that didn't work out, a relationship that broke us, or simply life pushing us until we felt too tired to try again. We start telling ourselves things like, "It's too late," or "I'm too old," or the big one, "What if I fail again?" But the truth is simple. Fear doesn't show up to stop us. Fear shows up to test how badly we want a better life. The people who overcome fear aren't braver than the rest of us. They just decide, in one silent moment, that their future matters more than their past. Let me tell you a story about a man named Michael. At 54 years old, he lost the job he'd had for 20 years. For months, he woke up every single morning with the same devastating thought: "I'm a failure. I don't know how to start again." He started avoiding his friends. He avoided conversations. He even avoided himself. One evening, while he was cleaning out his garage, he found an old notebook. Inside, he saw a sentence he'd written down a long time. "I go one day. I want to build wooden furniture with my own hands." He just stared at that sentence for a long time, and instead of asking himself, "What if I fail?" he asked a different question. "What if I don't try and spend the rest of my life regretting this?" The very next morning, he started small. He built one chair, then one table. He took some pictures and posted them online. And you know what? People loved them. 2 years later, the man who once called himself a failure now runs his own small workshop, teaching younger people a craft he once abandoned. Michael didn't become successful because life was easy. He became successful because he started again, even when fear was screaming at him not to. Here's a truth that every adult needs to hear. There is no age where starting over becomes impossible. There is only the moment when you decide to stop letting fear lead your life. Your mistakes, they weren't for nothing. They taught you lessons. Your failures, they weren't weaknesses. They built your strength and your past. Each shaped you, but it absolutely does not define the rest of your story. Life becomes meaningful again the moment we give ourselves permission to rewrite our own chapters. So, how do we actually overcome this fear of failure? Here's what truly helps. First, start smaller than you think. A tiny action repeated over and over is far more powerful than a big, grand plan that you eventually abandon. Second, replace the question, "What if I fail?" with, "What if I grow?" Your mind listens to the questions you ask it, so ask better ones. Third, don't wait to feel confident. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Next, surround yourself with energy that lifts you. One supportive voice in your life can silence years of self-doubt. And finally, allow yourself to be a beginner again. Being new at something doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're courageous enough to evolve. If you're watching this and you feel like life has passed you by, please listen closely. You are not too old. You are not too late. And you are not done. There is still a dream inside you that refuses to die. A dream that's just waiting for you to give it one more chance. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to take a single step. And when that familiar fear whispers, "What if you fail?" answer it gently. Then I will stand up and I will begin again. Because that is how strong people live. Not without fear, but with a courage that is bigger than fear. If this message touched you in any way, hit that subscribe button and join this community. Inspired Change Today is here to remind you that your story isn't over. And together, we can write the next chapter with strength, clarity, and purpose. Take a breath, stand tall, and begin again.